In this video presentation, we'll be discussing Isaiah 9:6. Is this speaking about the Messiah? Let's take a look at a few translations on how this verse is read. For a child shall be born unto us, a son shall be given unto us, and the rule is on his shoulder. And his name is called Wonder, Counselor, Strong El, Father of Continuity, Prince of Peace. This is from the Scriptures Bible, 1998. Also, for a child is born unto us, a son is given unto us, and the government is upon his shoulder. And his name is called Pele, Yoez, El Gibor, Abi Ad, Sar Shalom. The JPS translation, which is the Jewish Publication Society. Now let's take a look at another translation, the ancient Targum. For to us a son is born, to us a son is given, and he shall receive the Torah upon him to keep it. And his name is called from of old, Wonderful, Counselor, El, the Mighty, abiding to eternity, the Messiah, because peace shall be multiplied on us in his days. Again, we see it in the Aramaic that the translators put the Messiah in the passage. Now the Aramaic Targum, the ancient Aramaic Targum, is a translation of the Hebrew scriptures that existed at the time of Yeshua Jesus in the 1st century and was translated before that. Another question we need to ask ourselves is, are there any Jewish commentaries in reference to Isaiah 9:6? Well, Rabbi Yossi the Galilean said, the name of the Messiah is Shalom, for it is said, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace, referring back to Isaiah 9:5. Great is peace, for in that hour in which King Messiah is revealed to Israel, he begins with peace. Again, we see from the Rambam, and the Holy One, blessed be he, called him Messiah by 6 names, and his name will be called Wonderful, Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Now, if we look at the very next verse in Hebrew, and of course in its translation it says, of the increase of his rule and peace there is no end. Now if you notice, the Hebrew letter that is in red is a closed mem. This is very unusual because the closed mem always appears at the end of a word, never in the middle of a word. The open mem appears in the middle of the word, but never do we have a closed mem anywhere in the Hebrew scriptures that is put in the middle. It's always at the end. In fact, we have, of course, our sages have taught that the closed letter mem, which normally appears only at the end of the word in Hebrew, but here appears in the middle of the word, in the word lamorbe, is an allusion to Mashiach. This is living with Mashiach in 1131. So again, the sages understood that the very next verse was a hint or a clue that the Messiah would somehow be represented in a closed mem. Now again, if we look at the mems in both the open and closed, we get some very interesting things. The numerical value of mem is 40, alluding to the 40 weeks in which the embryo is formed in the womb. And as you can see, the open mem and the closed mem. In other Jewish writings, we have a closed mem represents a closed womb, or to a woman who is barren and incapable of giving birth. Likewise, a virgin has a closed womb until she gives birth to her first child. This is unveiling the mystery of the closed mem in Hoshana Rabbah. And again, this is a remez to the Messiah who would come from a closed womb, a closed mem. This is what you have in Isaiah 7. This is what you have in Isaiah 9. The closed mem represents the remez of the Messiah coming and given those 8 named titles from Isaiah 9. So what is our conclusion? There were Jews, including Rabbi Yossi, who lived just after 70 AD, who believed that Isaiah 9:6 was speaking of the Messiah. This is considered the remez, or the hint, in rabbinic interpretation. Also, the ancient Aramaic Targum was written with the view that Isaiah 9:6 was referring to the Messiah. And of course, the ancient mystery of the mem reveals the virgin birth of the Messiah fulfilled by Yeshua Jesus in the 1st century.